Nobody has it all figured out. Nobody has it all together.
Welcome to That Explains a Lot. Real conversations about this messy, magical life.
We talk about the things that don't make sense until suddenly they do.
And we have liftoff.
That's it. We're in. So welcome to this first episode of That Explains a Lot.
Yeah.
I'm Susan Patrick.
And I am Natalie Ledwell.
And we are super excited that you are here listening to us in this, what will be a messy and magical conversation.
Yes. So this is our very first jaunt together, our very first episode together. So we wanted to start by explaining to you how this all came about, why we're here, what the hell is going on.
What is going on? And I love it. Did start with a very simple phone call when Natalie called and said, Susan, I want to play and have fun. And I was like, yeah, let's play and let's have fun, because I think life needs a little bit more of that right now.
Well, let's be honest. I mentioned it a couple of times before you called back. I went, wait a minute. Now I've heard you. Let's do this.
Yeah, it took me a couple times to hear the message, you know.
Yes.
And I think about that in life. How many times people are trying to give you the message, and it's like finally I had to go, okay, Nat. So you've said this a couple times, and then your next line was, I want to play and I want to have some fun, and I was like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah. So Susan and I actually met through an organization called the Association of Transformational Leaders. That's how we got to know it. Yeah.
I feel like there should be a sound effect there.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. So we've known each other for maybe 15 years, so quite a long time. Yeah. And the reason that I was reaching out to her and had the idea about doing something together is that, you know, most of you will know me through my other company, Mind Movies, where I've been teaching manifestation and positive thinking and training coaches for 18 years. And we've reached millions and millions of people. And lately there's been something, and I kind of want to say it's like a yearning. It feels a little bit like indigestion, you know.
Acid reflux.
And I'm taking Tums and it's not going away. So I'm thinking maybe there's something here. But there's been a big shift in the personal development industry. And we've all been talking about it. And it seems that the way that we have done business up until this point worked great guns for the longest time. And we were definitely the poster children for you know, all of the marketing and all the emails and all of that. But that doesn't seem to be working anymore.
Yeah. And people want something different, and there's a different feeling that's emerging, or a different quality of experience that's emerging.
Well, that's the point. I think it's experience that people are really yearning for. And so within these conversations, I think part of what's been coming up is that, and especially in conversations I've had with, you know, clients of Mind Movies, they go, we know what you're doing. Like, we know that when you say this and you're putting on the scarcity and the fake whatever, like we get it. We understand. They can see the strategies now. And so what I feel like is people are really asking for is that they want connection and they want community. And I feel like I have been the teacher, you know, the coach for a very long time. But the subject that we want to address in this particular podcast is really about what it's like to be a woman at this time of our life.
Yeah, this is not my mother's midlife, right? No. It's a completely different world, a completely different game. And I think thinking about how I want to play it moving forward, and that word play and have fun and experience and connect and generous, I think those were all the things that brought this together.
Yeah. And we don't want to be teachers or gurus. That's not what we're doing here. We want to open up like a sacred container where as women we can connect and we can talk. I mean, we don't have all the answers when it comes to menopause and midlife and everything is, like you said, Susan, so different to when our mothers were this age, and we're navigating this for the first time. So we thought we'd just, this is a bit of a hunch. This is me trusting my intuition and going, I think that community and conversation is really what it's really what I want to be a part of and that I want
Yeah.
to help to create. And so that's kind of why we're here.
And that's what I want to create. And so we're excited that you're here to be a part of this first podcast and really thinking about what are we doing here in our midlife and what do we want the rest of it to look like? And more importantly, what do we want the rest of it to feel like?
Hmm.
To give a little bit of background about me, I've been doing something for the past 20 plus years that's been great, but I'm really ready to let it go. And I'm really rediscovering who I want to be. And the more I talk to women, the more I'm finding that that's a common denominator. It's we don't have it all figured out in our 50s. We've got a lot figured out, but we're still figuring it out and we're finding and we're discovering what's next. What
Yeah.
do we want next?
Well, the way, as I was mentioning before, Susan and I met through an organization called the Association of Transformational Leaders. And we've known each other for 15 years, but we haven't been close for that length of time because I was a little bit of a hard nut to crack in the beginning.
I kept trying to crack it.
So when I first joined that organization, it was really towards the end of my marriage. And
Mhm.
I was so unhappy in my marriage. But you know, when you're in something like that and from the outside looking in, everything looked great. Everything looked
Yeah,
amazing. People were like,
yeah.
oh, you guys have the best relationship. And we did. We had a great life. We traveled. I was fulfilled with what I was doing,
Mhm.
but I was desperately unhappy, and I didn't wanna let anyone close because if I let them in, they would see past the facade and
Yeah,
realize there was nothing under there, and
yeah,
I was
right.
just, and of course, you have this I had this feeling like, "Well, I'm the mind movies lady. I'm supposed to have all my shit together. I'm
Yeah,
supposed to have all the answers." And I was kind of flailing. So it wasn't
yeah.
until, my husband and I separated that I really started to intentionally form these incredibly enriching and amazing girlfriend relationships. And
Mhm.
Susan was one of those women, and it has absolutely changed my life.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that giving ourselves permission to be in the reinvention. I think there's this paradigm in this story that you're supposed to have it all together and you're supposed to know all the answers. And that's I just don't think that it's not true. It's not true for anybody that I've talked to.
Yeah,
Right? Nobody has it all figured out. Nobody has it all together, and so it's surrendering that that and being humble and opening yourself up so that we can create some real connections that can create some pivots that can create some energy that can help us to more fully kind of embrace this messy and that's I love our tagline this messy magical life
yeah.
and that's I think what it is that we're doing
I
so
know. I remember having a moment maybe a year ago. It was a girls' dinner at
Mhm.
my girlfriend Melanie's house, and there was a group of us there, all women. We're just chatting, having a glass of wine, and the conversation was around what I call the doona dance. So a
The do
doona is a like
Duna.
a yeah, a doona in Australia we call it a doona, but it's like a duvet, like like the blanket on the bed, the
Yep.
heavy blanket. So, the doona dance is when, you first you start underneath the doona, but then you have to put one leg out and then you have to throw the whole thing off and then you have to pull a little bit back again. And so so we were nearly peeing ourselves laughing about the whole doona dance situation. And I'm like, this is where we're at right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm at a dinner party and this is the conversation, topic
You
of
can do the dance
conversation.
if you want to. You can leave your marriage behind. No, because if the Duna don't dance and the Duna don't no, sorry, that's just I don't know why that I went into song. That's
Yeah.
right.
So these are the kind of conversations that we want to open up to,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that with the community that we create, that within that community, that you will find friendships.
Yeah.
That you'll
Yeah.
find, because maybe there are not people in your life that you can have these conversations with, or maybe not at this level or at this, these particular topics. So we really want to make sure that you have a space where it's safe for you to laugh and to cry and to share,
Yeah.
and that by doing that we realize that we're not alone.
Yeah. I'm not alone. And I think that statement, I think that we're living in a world where we're supposedly supposed to be more connected than ever before, but people are feeling lonelier, a depth of loneliness that is profound. And
Mm.
so really leveraging technologies like this, conversations like this, spaces like this for people to have more genuine connection so that it can I want a little more energy in my life, and I want other people to have more energy in their life, and I think that's what all of this is promoting and desiring, right?
Yeah.
I call it a joy jolt, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, just bring a little. We need to just kind of bring a little
Yeah.
more energy in.
I love your jolts. They're way better in person, but
They are there. My son's now adopted doing the joy jolts, and he's 14, and sometimes they're a little hard.
yeah. Well, if you
They're a
get your
little
back
hard.
cracked, it's kind of
Yeah.
a good thing. Yeah. And I think that also that a lot of the women that I have been working with through the My Movies community, we feel like we're kind of at this stage in life where we a lot of us have that feeling, not
Mhm.
indigestion, but of there's something different. There's something
Yeah.
else. Like I remember at the end of my marriage, I was getting this message coming in that was like, you're wasting time. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I've got this amazing
Yeah.
business and I'm helping to change lives. Like, what could that possibly mean? And I think that once my marriage ended, the big question I kept asking myself was like, well, who am I? I don't even know who I
Mhm.
am without him. Like, who
Mhm.
am I without all, it being Glenn and Nat? That was been that like
Yeah.
for 18 years. And then I shifted the question, which is what we want to explore here with you all as well, is not specifically who am I, but who do I want to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I'm a doer. I'm a GSD. I get shit done. Like you give me a
You do
tool,
get shit done, Nat.
I'm like, right, here is the SOP. Here is the 15 steps we need to get it done. But now I'm really asking the question, well, who am I being? Who do
Yeah.
I want to be?
And so as you say that, taking that deep breath, and I just heard this on another podcast, which I loved, because the B is eternal and the B is internal. And the B isn't about what's on the outside. It really is that and I think this is the gift of this part of midlife is it is if you use it really well, you get to really look at yourself in a way that you haven't been able to ever look at yourself because life was moving so fast and there were so many other things you were tending to and marriages you were taking care of, babies you were taking care of, businesses that you were taking care of, and now there's this unique moment where you're, well, who do I be,
Yeah.
who do I desire to be,
Yeah.
and breathing into that from a space of like feeling expanded and joyful rather than, oh my god, that heaviness.
Yeah. And I don't know about any of you that are listening, but I know for me, I was having major moments of self doubt.
Mm,
I'm like, I don't know
yeah.
if I can do this. I don't know if I can step into this. I don't like, I haven't done this before, or it was something that was outside my comfort zone. So I was like, really beating myself up about it
Mhm.
intensely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing really that helped me get out of that was to intentionally surround myself with amazing, incredible women who I respected and looked up to
Yeah.
so that they could keep reminding me, no, Nat, you've got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know?
that this is a community where we're going to remind each other,
Yeah.
right? That what you're going through is normal, but we're living in an abnormal world. And so that's what's going to make it messy. And really coming to a space where we can I love, that explains a lot to me is the energy behind when you get to that moment energetically and something clicks inside of you and you go, oh, that moment of, "Oh, that explains a lot."
Mm,
That's why the podcast is named that because it is that moment of, "Oh," and you feel more integrated with yourself, and that we're not looking for explanation outside of ourselves. We're really inviting greater permission to explore the being of ourself,
yeah.
so we can go, "Oh, that explains a lot."
And even understanding how physically we are going through different things. Like the last
Mhm.
time I thought that explains a lot was when actually one of my neighbors sent me an article about how our brains are completely rewiring themselves at this
Yes.
time of our life, because we don't need to be fully, multitasking anymore with the kids and the husband and the job and the thing. We don't need to do all of that anymore. So it's
Mm.
rewiring for who we are becoming at this time of
Yeah.
our life. So I'm
Yeah.
like, ah, that explains a lot. But,
That explains.
because I could sit down at my computer sometimes and go for 3 hours.
Is
I
this
can't
thing
string
on?
2 thoughts together. I'm like,
Is this thing on?
yeah, yeah. Hello, hello, anyone in there?
I really, I think that for me, one of the things I really appreciated about bringing this conversation to light was it felt so validating for me to be sitting with you, who it's really easy to look at the person sitting next to you and see their shiny life and see what they've been up to and build up such a story that, oh, they've got it all together. Oh, they've got it all figured out. Oh, I should be. And so I think that I love the transparency, I love the honesty, I love the I don't know,
Mm,
and so there's this almost permission to be in wonder. Like, let's get back to wonder in our lives. Remember when we were younger, there was a feeling of like, what's next?
yeah,
And I'm like, I that's what I want this community to bring out more of in me, and what I want to inspire in the energy of these conversations is more wonder around what's next? Whoa,
mm,
what I wonder what's around the corner. I wonder and that I mean, we're living in an exciting time, but we're living in a messy time.
yeah,
And so how can we stand in all of the heaviness of this world in wonder,
yeah.
you
And
know?
the technology we have at our fingertips is a blessing and a curse.
I mean,
It's both, you know?
it's both.
Yeah,
That's why this is not my mother's menopause.
yeah, yeah,
You know, I have tools at my disposal, but there's also other things that my mom never had to deal with, that the
yeah,
women who came before us didn't have to deal with. And so I think one of the strongest things that we have, like never before, is community and authentic connection and experience.
yeah.
We have access in a way digitally, through these platforms like this, these types of conversations. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I think too, because I think in general, we're all going through a bit of an identity shredding. Like,
Mm,
we're shedding this identity of who we were before, what was important to us, what was more meaningful, because what's meaningful to us now is different. It's
totally.
different to what it used to be.
Totally.
And I think for us to become this version, even though we have no idea what that is yet, there
Hmm.
is gonna be a little bit of an unraveling. There's gonna be a little bit of a messy, magical, transition that we go through to get to
Yep.
that point.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yeah.
I think a community like this is gonna be really important because, we can, go through that together and we can laugh about it and we
Yes.
can talk about it and we can, do all
Yeah.
those kind of things. But when we're doing it together
Yeah.
in an environment where we're all really supportive and uplifting each other, that's where the magic is.
And I love it. It's an invitation. Nat and I talking right now. I hope that what's being expressed is I don't I want to sit up here and be in the discovery of this conversation just as much as being a part of the conversation, right?
Mm,
So we have ideas of what we want to bring in future episodes, but we really see this being a space where we want to invite women to be in an active contribution of what is being created.
yeah.
So, this is not about having the lesson plan and we're all going to take the test at the end and let's see if we pass. This is a
Exactly.
completely different paradigm.
It is. It's not the 10 steps to manifest whatever you want in your life. I mean,
No.
that's my movies. That's my other business. That's what I do over there.
Mhm.
But here is different. Here
Yes.
is like, here's where we share truth. Share
Mhm.
our own truth, where we realize there's really nothing wrong with us. We're just going through this incredible transition.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation, but a conversation that we all get to contribute to.
Yeah, yeah. And a conversation that's desiring there to be an outcome that feels good, that's more playful, that is emboldened in having greater joy and access to life force and energy. Yeah, I'm like, I want to play over there. I want to get the chills more often.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm like inhaling because I'm excited more. I desire that. I desire that more for me, and I desire that more for the women in my life.
Yeah.
And generating that experience with each other. I think I think we're on to something really fun.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my girlfriend, Dr. Anna Chibeka, she has a lot of products and things that help women in menopause. She's a
Mhm.
gynecologist, and she said, menopause is mandatory, but suffering isn't.
Mm,
But
mm.
what we're talking about here is like we're not gonna suffer. When we're not gonna just get through. We're not gonna just survive.
No,
We're
we're gonna
gonna
thrive.
do it with a smile on our face
Even if
and
it's
having
even if
fun.
it starts out as a scowl.
And really, having enjoying it and sharing it and
Mhm.
embracing it in a way rather than seeing it as a burden or as
Yeah.
another thing. I remember there's a book out about menopause, and the title of the book is What Fresh Hell Is This?
What what fresh hell.
So we don't want to, we don't like,
Yeah.
as these things come up, we want to be able to share them. We want to be able to laugh and have some levity to it, but also in an environment where we're having positive conversation about
Mhm.
things that we can do. And
Yeah,
we're sharing different, strategies and sharing different, products and things that we come across that can be helpful. And we also want to have you as part of that conversation as well.
absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. I love it. I love it.
So,
So,
if there is anything that you have heard today that makes
mhm.
you feel seen or recognized or go, wait a minute, that sounds just like me.
That's right, that's right. Makes you exhale.
Yeah.
Then you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah. Welcome to the
Welcome to the
conversation.
conversation.
So, we
Which
invite you to subscribe to our channel.
mhm,
Most of our content will be here in Substack. We
mhm.
will be putting out on other platforms, but I'll be honest with you, the other platforms are too scary a place for me to be hanging out, but they will
Too
be available.
noisy, too noisy.
Yeah. But we love Substack
Mhm.
because, it seems to be a really grounded place. There's not a lot of, advertising and different things. I've even seen a lot of people, respectfully disagree with someone and they become friends. Like
That's right.
it's this kind of place. So this is where we want to hang and this is where we want to invite you to come and hang with us.
Yeah. Please share this with friends that you'd like to include in this conversation because this is the beginning of what I think is going to be a really powerful community. So to be here at the ground floor like this and seeding the ideas of what we're gonna stand on is exciting. So make sure that you come back each week. We want to be in this conversation with you. We want to connect with you. We want to energize
Yeah.
with you. So next week we're going to be talking about a fun subject, right, Nat?
We are. We're going to be talking about why so many women feel restless, even when life
Mm.
looks fine. I've been through that a couple of times. So,
Yeah.
I have a little bit to contribute to that
This
conversation.
this is it, this is it. You're like, "Why am I so
Yeah.
restless?" Right, right, right. So until next week, we wanna encourage you to just stay curious and, of course, stay kind.
As you move through this messy and magical life.